Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast, a place where we focus on the business side of art to help you attract more customers in order to increase your profits, in order to live a life of creativity and financial freedom. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and this week we have a solo episode talking about how to play unfair to win. And people love a good trick. People love a good hack. And so I'm playing on your desires with this. And I'm going to be talking about the tricks that you already have that you probably know, but maybe aren't in the forefront of your thoughts. We all know the advantages that we have over people. And I'm not just talking about skill. In this episode, I am not going to be talking about who's the better painter. I'm going to be talking about your traits that you are either born with or that you've learned or that you're going to learn in order to get ahead. Okay? This episode is more about not thinking how the grass is greener because this other person does video and she is good online and she has a following or whatever, and thinking about, oh, this person's way better than me and all that. It's like looking at your own hand, the hand that you were dealt, mostly the things that you were born with, the attributes that attract people to you, even your friends. Why do they like to hang out with you? What do you have about you that you could benefit in your business naturally? I like to say that you are your own brand. We don't have to pick out colors and fonts and things in order to have a brand. You are your own brand. So looking deep within yourself and thinking about what are the things that's gonna get me ahead, that's just uniquely me, and that I don't have to stretch very far in order to do this. What comes naturally? And I made a list here and a couple of those things just to run through a couple of what this is. It's a little bit of an unhinged episode. and then I'm going to go through explain things like pretty privilege. Are you a decently attractive person? Use it. Things like daddy's money. Your parents have money. Use it. Things like you can talk to people. You don't have a hard time just like striking up a conversation. You don't have a hard time holding a conversation. Like you don't know how much of an advantage that is in the art world. Things like not having a family to tie you down. Things like being the underdog and having absolutely nothing to lose. Things like being a woman or just being a man. Let's start with the woman to man thing because everybody can relate to that. And I am not on this high horse of like, oh, women are the underdogs and we need to do more pay and all the things, like whatever. Like I think as a woman, I have so many more advantages than a man, but let's start with the man side. Like I think the obvious one is if you are a man and you're listening to this and you're like, what advantage do I have? You get a lot of crap, especially if you're a white man in the United States. People are like, oh, okay, like all the privilege and things. And that's very, very true. Very true. However, just being a man, people are going to take you more seriously. They just are. That's just a fact. Men are just, especially I deal with a lot of men business owners. And for some reason, man talking to a man, as long as you are clear and concise and you know your elevator pitch and you can give a good results, like you just get taken more seriously. There is a little bit of a factor in that. However, I think women have the upper hand in this. Being a woman, I am biased, obviously, but no man can go on a construction site and be painting and then look around and there's something in your way and be like, yoo-hoo, can I get this moved? As a woman, construction workers will fall on themselves to move that thing for me. Oh, yes, man. You have no idea. When I go on a construction site, not dressed scandalous, just in work painting attire, because I'm the minority on there, all the guys, all the time, they're like, hey, you're here. Hey, you're painting this. Oh, I can only paint a stick figure. Hey, you're here again. Oh, you're here a little late. Hey, look, all day. I was just painting on this project and they were redoing this like deck area right beside the wall that I was going. And like anytime they would make some, they were cutting wood and it was kind of going in my direction, they come in, hey, we're not getting in your way, are we? Like, I just don't know that a guy in my situation, if the guys coming by would talk to him all day. I just don't know about that. So when it comes to like needing something in that particular way, like being a woman in around a male dominated area like that, we have that advantage. Another one, just to say it, pretty privilege is a thing. And if you think I don't use it, you're crazy. If you think I don't like get all cute and like, hold my canvas and turn around and smile or like have a cute outfit on because I know it's going to get more likes, which gets more marketing traction, which gets me more sales. If you don't think I know that, you're crazy. And so I am using what I am born with. However, if you've never experienced pretty privilege before, you're like, okay, well, great. Well, I'm not like an attractive, cute little girl. There is an opposite side to that. Just to be real, I've had meetings with businessmen who their wife also works there and gotten the side eye. Like being alone in an office too long. The wife is a little, okay, like the wife's not really on your side sometimes if they're a really insecure wife. That's the key. Not all wives are like that. Not all other women are like that. I'm not trying to pin women against women, but there have been several instances in my 12-year career where you're talking to the businessman and the wife's not really on your side just because of, I don't know, there's just a shift. And it's not like they say something. It's just a body shift that I felt a few times, several times. But does it affect the overall, like, does it help me? I don't know. So I'm going to use my pretty privilege in situations where it is going to help me. And one of those is social media. Getting dolled up, doing the thing, smiling, being approachable. One of my privileges, I think, is just being approachable in general. Cute girl, happy to be there, smiling at you. Like that approachability is something that I have used. For instance, when I started working for Bass Pro Shops 10 plus years ago, they had me there and I was the worst muralist / calligrapher. I was the worst one there, but I showed up every day with a smile on my face. Happy to be here. Can't fire me if you like me. And that's true. If you are likable, that is a huge in. If people like you, and it's not that hard to be liked, right? I think if you are a woman and you have the pretty privilege and the whole thing and you show up in a good mood, like pretty much if somebody is not insecure about themselves, they're going to like you and then they're going to recommend you. And that is a part of business that's a little bit unspoken sometimes. So don't come for me. I'm just being very, very real here. Another one is daddy's money. If you have it, use that shit. Like you don't understand. Like I would have loved to have somebody help me through college or just being able to be like, Dad, can you help me invest in this and that? Like use it. Don't be ashamed of it. Use it. Use it to help get your start and then go. Like I used to be so jealous, probably is the word for it. I used to be so jealous when I would run into somebody who they had handouts and they had college paid for, or they had just things like that. And I was like, must be nice. But I was listening to an interview with a Nepo baby and she was talking about how she's like, yeah, I get a lot of crap from like people her age about like, oh yeah, well, she came from daddy's money and all the things. And she's like, but why wouldn't I use it? Why would I be like, oh no, I'm going to try to do it the hard way? Like, why wouldn't you? Like people give some major examples are like Trump or Jeff Bezos. And people are like, well, they were given that. And that's why it's like, why wouldn't they have used that? Do you know how hard it is to get from A to B to C? Like it's easier if you have somebody to help you get to B, and it's still hard to get to C. It's easier with a cushion, but it is not done for you. And you might have some people listening. I actually know a couple of people who like, they came from daddy's money and they're having a really hard time. They're still like, yeah, I'm not where I need to be. Money did not help me get to the ultimate thing. Like it's not going to do it for you, but it's going to help you get your start. So use it, use it and be proud of it. Another thing is if you have a corporate background, if you spent a long time working at a job that did not fulfill you, I guarantee you have some kind of benefit from having that job. Whether you got to see the inner workings of a company, you got to see how they're organized, you got to see their schedule, how people work with each other, how the graphic designers work with this department, and all things. Like, use little bits of that into your own art business, because that's what it is. We're in a business, and the functions of running a business are a lot like running any other company in general. Use what you've learned at other jobs, like the complete waste of time that you had at one job, networking. Use that networking. Use those people that you have met to go then further yourself. Use the conversations that you have had to strike up the conversation of, hey, I'm an artist, and go from there. If you are an underdog, you have absolutely nothing to lose. And if you are starting from absolutely nothing, I think this is the mindset that I had that I didn't realize was a benefit. I came from absolutely nothing. I had absolutely nothing to lose. I had no idea how to build myself to the top, but I was going to make mistake after mistake and trial after trial and spend as much time as I can trying to not be poor anymore. And it doesn't matter, like clawing your way up, because you have absolutely nothing to lose. Another one, if you don't have a family, like, you have way less responsibility. You can go to any location that you want for as long as you want. So you can go take up an artist residency in Japan because you don't have anybody holding you back here. Your friends are going to be here. Your boyfriend's going to be here when you get back. One of my friends, she was wanting to take a traveling nurse job, because if you're a traveling nurse, you make way more than ones that are not. Did you know that? I had no idea. She was telling me about it. Makes significantly amount more. So she'll go to some place for like a certain amount of time. I think it's maybe like 3 months, 6 months, and she'll be a travel nurse there. And she'll make way more than the nurses that are actually working there in one spot. And the advice that I gave her when she was like, I don't know if I want to leave because like moving is so hard. I'm like, look, everything is going to be exactly the same when you're back. You're going to go there and you're going to have this work experience, and everybody's going to be doing the exact same things when you come back. We're going to be still living in this spot. We're going to be still going to this bar. We're going to be still hanging out with so-and-so. You know, the drama is going to be there, whatever. And it's going to be the same if you come back. And so I remember her telling me later, she was like, that was the one piece of advice that I was like, okay, I'll try that. And then one of my friends moved to LA, and she was around when I was telling my other friend that. And she was like, I remember you telling her that. And then she moved to LA, and then she came back to visit 2 years later. And you're like, you're right. Everybody's literally doing the exact same things when I left. So anyway, goes to say, if you're an artist and you want to get some experience, I cannot recommend enough to get out of here. Like, get out of your environment, because if you're feeling stuck, I was listening to something, or maybe it was a meme or something, and it was like, traveling and going somewhere for a finite amount of time does more for you than months of therapy. Because what it does, if you're going through a hard time in your location, getting somewhere else, and like, say, for instance, you go to a 2-week artist residency in Japan, go there. It shows you people live completely differently. It helps open your mind to, well, I guess I don't have to do things like that. Traveling, for me, I've been to 48 countries. Traveling is one of the things where I try to do it as often as I can. But because when I go out and I get out of this setting, my creativity is just like bursting. I'm like, wait, I don't have to do the same thing that I do I don't have to eat the same thing that I eat for breakfast. I don't have to go in those exact same motions. I don't need all this material stuff. I can just live out of a backpack. Like, it opens your mind to so many different things. And so if you are young and you have no family, or even if you're old and you have no family, get out and do something. Even if you're not getting completely paid for it, that will benefit you in so many ways, because it'll show people that you're not just an artist who stays put. It expands your brand. And that's something that I didn't know was going to happen until I started doing it. Until I started painting in places that weren't Springfield, Missouri. And people were like, oh, she's painted in Alaska. Or, oh, she's painted in Australia. Oh, she's painted like it made me more desirable, I guess you could say, back home. And it's all like, you are your brand, right? Everything that you do, things that you say, things that you put online, the things that you paint, yes, but you are your brand. So everything that you do and every little bit of self-care or self-improvement that you put into yourself also falls into your business. So Yeah. Okay. Another thing. If you are somebody who is naturally very obsessive, use that to your advantage. If you're somebody who're like, oh my gosh, it's really hard for me to put something down. It's really hard to like use that to your advantage. Cause I'm also somebody like that. And I thought of it as like, well, for instance, when I find a food that I love, I'll eat it like every day until I get tired of it. Like something like that. I remember talking to my aunt about 5-6 years ago, and she's like, you're really doing well on Instagram. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm obsessed with it. I'm literally obsessed. So if you're somebody who you want something really bad, become obsessed with it. Just one thing. Just one thing, like one food, and eat it every day. Like come Instagram, and do it every day. That will do way more than trying to do all the things you need to do on your to-do list for a long period of time. Just take like a month or 2 weeks even and obsess over one little thing. And that will really, really help you. A lot of people say like, for instance, I talk to a lot of people with like obsessive compulsive disorders and things like that. I'm like, use it, use that thing and just get really good. And if you're somebody who can carry on a conversation with somebody without it getting like stale in the first 5 minutes, congrats, because you are better than most artists. And if you're an artist who is like me, it's hard to carry on a conversation. I'll usually have like, I'll even sometimes Google like things to ask people to really spark up a conversation. Or even like, I'll put this into Gemini, ChatGPT, AI, be like, these are my interests. I'm trying to create a conversation that I am also interested in with this person that I have no idea. And so a lot of things that I'm interested in are art and business. So I would start to ask them about their job. I would start to ask them specific details, especially if they own their own business. I'd be like, hey, do you have any employees? Like, how did you hire them? Where did you find them? What did they do specifically for you? Like, I'll even ask them, like, what's the one thing they do for you that really takes a lot of weight off of your shoulders? I will ask them non-generalized things, very specific things that I'm actually interested that might be a little invasive, but people will tell you. People will tell you either with their body language or with verbally that they don't want to like talk about work or whatever. But I like to do this. I like to ask them very specific questions, even about kids. I'm a mom. So when somebody has specifically a boy, I'll say, hey, how wild was he when he was a toddler? Okay. Well, what was the best way to redirect him and use that energy for good? Like just like little specific questions and saying, hey, the weather or whatever. So if you're somebody who can naturally just talk to somebody and actually be interested in those generalized things, congrats. My husband is one of those and I don't understand it. But if you're not, get those little detailed questions ready for people and ask them things like that you're actually interested in, that you are interested in, not that they are interested in it, but if you are interested in it, then people love talking about themselves. So that'll help. Anyway, that's just a little tip in there. But another one is if you live in a rural area, so do I. Use it to your advantage. There's not very much competition around, so use that. And if we've gone through this whole list and you're like, okay, I have a couple of those, I'll hone in on them, but like I don't have as many as I would want, you can always learn them. Go to freaking YouTube and learn. Like there's this chick that I started following. She's an etiquette person. And so etiquette is not something that I was taught. I was never taught what fork goes where. I was never taught the proper way to cut a steak and eat it. And like with the knife in one hand and a fork, I was never taught that. I was never taught the high luxury things, just things like that. And so I am fascinated with the etiquette stuff right now. I can't remember what account it is, but she's this like pretty blonde girl, and she used to be a lawyer, and now she does etiquette training, and she does posts all the time about ask this and not that, say it like this and not that, like just ways to be more proper, because that is something that is completely oblivious to me, which is probably in my favor, because I get a lot of comments on the podcast. People like, oh, I feel like I'm talking to a friend or a sister and getting that like hard hitting advice. Like that's probably came in handy around then because I don't put a lot of etiquette fluff into it, but I would still like to know, because there are just points in life where, I don't know, like talking to a high exec up, which I've had several meetings with people and about doing a mural, and they just like things that I would love to go into higher end meetings knowing, and etiquette is one of those. And so if there is something that you feel like you're lacking or something you're very interested in or something that you have that you are innately capable of, but you just want to expand on it, go to YouTube. Learn it. Learn it. Give yourself an unfair advantage against somebody else, because there are people out there who wish that they could talk to people or who wish that they had daddy's money or whatever it is. Like use the hand that you were dealt. Use that. The grass is greener where you are, where you water it, blah, blah, blah. And use that to your advantage, because it is unfair. The advantages that you have are completely unfair compared to what somebody else has. You know, one of my completely unfair advantages that I know not a lot of people have is that my left and right brain are pretty equal. I can do like the thing with your hands, with your fingers, where like your left and right brain. Anyway, I know that I am equally creative as I am business minded, and I am using the shit out of that. I am using that to build this Artist Academy. I'm using this to help with my art career, and I am using the crap out of that to benefit myself, because I know that not many people have that. And so one major tip, this is the last one that I'll leave you, is I was listening to a book or something, because that's what we do, right? We listen to audiobooks all day. And there was this one, it told me specifically, take 2 of your advantages and put them together. So mine is creative and business. Put that together and you will flourish, because a lot of people have one or the other, or this one or that one, or this whatever, but it's more rare for somebody to be, for instance, like really good at conversation and also really good with like technical painting. So how you do that is you go have art shows. You go and talk to people. You take your amazingly detailed technical paintings and you go out and you put them where people are going to see them. People are going to walk by. You have shows. You have things where like people are going to interact, and you take your art and you interact with those people and put that together. Something like that. You have 2 things that you can put together, figure out what it is, enhance them both with either programs like the Artist Academy or free YouTube content or whatever, and hone in on those 2 things, put those together. Like say you're, well, I guess good at painting, and then would be obsessed with birds. You would have a niche with birds and painting, and then that would be your in, because you know where the bird watchers are. You know the groups that they're in. You know, like you have that in to where not a lot of people are that interested in that. And then there are a lot of people who are very good at painting that. And you can just combine those 2 things in order to find your customer clientele. There's 2 things that you're good at. Combine them and use the card you were dealt. That's all I have today. Okay, I'm going to get back to painting. I will talk to you later. Talk to you later, like I'm hanging up the phone. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Artist Academy podcast. I will see you next week.